Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 153. Tesla cut prices around the world that no one can keep up with. And Tesla was the only automaker that was up in 2022 in the US. And the EV adoption did actually speed up in 2022 compared to the trend line. And Volkswagen's carrier software chief promised progress one step at a time. And Mercedes also wants to start up their own charging network to rival Tesla. And we have some more news about Tesla's new Gigafactory. But Tesla also filed for new expansion for the Texas factory. And Goodyear is making sustainable tires from soybean and rice. And Neuralink is now taking patients. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla made a checkmate move with their price cut globally this week, leaving the old automakers in huge trouble. But let's start with China, as we have heard a lot about demand problems in China, but Tesla should have seen orders increase after the big price cut. There has of course been protests because of this, as we always see every time they make a price cut, but changing the prices is something all automakers do all the time, so can't see how these protests should change anything. But people have also forgotten what Tesla has already told us, as Tom Zhu, Tesla's China boss, said in this old video. As long as the optimization of the supply chain and the improvement of the production efficiency brings down cost, we will pass the savings to the customers. This principle hasn't changed, and this will only continue going forward. It will go up and down, but in general it should continue to go down in price, if Tesla can keep up with demand, that is. Remember all the price rises that they did in 2021 and 2022 because they couldn't keep up with demand, but Tesla has almost doubled their production capacity in 2022 in China, making Tesla able to lower the prices yet again. So I don't think people really have to worry about demand in China. I personally think everything is okay and Tesla is in control. Remember, Tesla sold a record number of cars in China last year, and the Model Y became the best-selling SUV in the premium category and the second overall in SUVs. And according to data from the Chinese Passenger Car Association, it outsold the second and third models combined in the premium SUV segment. So if Tesla has a demand problem, well, seems like everyone is having demand problems. But we will see a lot more changes in China than elsewhere, as there is also more competition over there Tesla has to react to. But rumors has it that some of these protests in China because of Tesla's price cut were organized by employees from BYD. And we had heard rumors of BYD's salesperson reportedly stating that over the weekend many reservation users has come to cancel their order and transfer to Tesla. And a study in China claims that Tesla's store received 500% more foot traffic after announcing the price cut. If all of this is true, Tesla's price cut are a serious jab at BYD. And we know they are hardly making any money on their EVs, so for Tesla to lower their price this much and get close to BYD's prices in China and still earn a lot of money on their EVs, well, that price cut puts some real pressure on BYD, as they cannot really lower their prices as they will start losing money on their EVs, and BYD do not make ICE cars anymore, so they need to start earning some money, some real money on BEVs. So I don't think they will really have any move against Tesla lowering the price, as they can can't do the same. But BYD is doing very well in China, so I have a hard time seeing Tesla's price cut having a big effect on BYD's number. But we will of course keep a close eye on the EV race in China. But it is not just in China we are seeing price cut, it is all over the place, and here in Europe the prices are also getting trimmed quite a bit. In my country, both the Model Y and Model 3 have both gotten some pretty nice dips, about $7,000 all the way up to $20,000 equivalent in price cut. And with true cost of ownership, I actually think the Model 3 standard range has become a very reasonable price car in Denmark, even against comparable ICE cars. And again, this is a big problem for the old guys like Volkswagen and their ID.3, as now the standard range ID.3 is only about $4,000 cheaper than a Tesla Model 3, but the ID.3 long range, that is also the most crappy version of the car, is now the same price as a Tesla Model 3 long range. And Volkswagen can't really lower their price as they will start losing a lot of money and has actually been raising prices lately. So I think this could give a nice big boost to Tesla in Europe and a world of pain for the old guys. Also, like I just talked about in my video about the BYD Han here in Europe, that was actually more expensive than the Tesla Model 3 in Europe before the price cut. But now I think Tesla just wounded BYD badly here in Europe. If we take the starting price of a Tesla Model 3 now and compare it to the starting price of a BYD Han, the Tesla is $34,000 cheaper. Who is ever going to pay $34,000 more for a Chinese EV than the Tesla here in Europe? I think no one. But I will take a much deeper dive next week in all of this, because it really sounds like people are not getting the implication of this and don't really seem to understand that Tesla could sell all their cars with zero profits in 2023 and still earn billions on their car business in 2023. But if you want to know why and how, stay tuned for all of that coming next week. And a quick word from today's sponsor, Endel. Endel is an environment-based non-profit app that takes everything we know about sound and the minds and combines that with cutting-edge technology. The result is a real-time personalized soundscape designed to help you relax, focus, or sleep. Endel is informed by science, created with science, and backed up by science. So whether you want to boost your productivity or calm your mind or help yourself fall asleep, Endel can do just that. I personally use it when I need to focus on a task, because I personally don't use music because I find that more distraction. I always end up singing along with the song, but just sounds that helps my mind into a more focused state. Now that is much more my cup of tea. And also between work during the day, because I am a former top 5 freediver in the world and I use breathing exercises every day anyway to de-stress myself. And then Endel's soundscapes are just perfect for relaxing the mind, and my mind can just escape into this soundscape and calm down even quicker. I really enjoy that together with my breathing exercises. But Endel will actually take this a step further for the car industry as well, because Endel partnered with the group research of Mercedes-Benz AG to test a potential introduction of a one-of-a-kind AI-powered Endel car experience to keep drivers alert and calm. Now that is not a bad idea. On a drive, Endel's AI will generate an appropriate sound environment by analyzing various external inputs such as speed, driving style, weather, road type, as well as heart rate and other personal metrics synced from the individual's Endel phone or watch app. That actually became the Apple Watch app of the year in 2020. That also makes it very simple to use even from your wrist. So if you feel like you could use some help to either calm yourself, boost your productivity, or maybe need some help winding down and falling asleep, well, Endel has even collaborated with musician James Blake and his smooth sound to help you wind down. So, go to my custom link down in the description. The first 100 persons to download Endel with my custom link will get a free week of audio experience. Enjoy! And Tesla was the only automaker in the US that grew in 2022. Everyone else was in the red. But the mainstream media still reports that Tesla is the one that missed in 2022. We don't have any official numbers, but if we take the numbers here from good car, bad car, we can probably get a good indication of where the different automakers ended up, like Tesla that probably grew about 77.5% in 2022 in the US, which is very impressive, where we can see someone like Mercedes is dropping 22.8%, Volkswagen is dropping 24.2%, Nissan is dropping 24.5%, Honda is dropping 33%, and Jaguar Land Rover, well, they are pretty much just dying in the US. So Tesla was still the all-dominating force in the US in 2022 in the EV race. But it is only 4% of the car market, so they really have a lot of growing to do still. So I have no doubt that Tesla will sell all the cars they can make in 2023 in the US, and that could easily be 900,000 units this year, with Fremont at 550,000 units and Texas at 350,000 units. And that would even be less growth for 2023 than the 77% in 2022. So 50% growth in the US this year should be a pretty easy target for Tesla to do. But the legacy automakers continues to fall. The Ford F-150 is Ford's bread and butter and has been the best-selling vehicle for 41 years in the US, but over the last 5 years it has dropped about 40% in sales and almost 12% just last year. But because the F-150 is still the best-selling vehicle, the mainstream media is making some great headlines for Ford because it is still the best-selling vehicle, and don't really talk about the 12% drop in sales for the F-150 and what a miss that was. But that Tesla grew 40% in deliveries is reported as a miss. Yeah, sure. And maybe the fall in F-150s is not just the fall of the ICE cars, but also the Osborne effect we are seeing here, as I talked about in my video about the F-150 Lightning when Ford revealed it in May 2021. As I said, it was a very good EV pickup truck, and as Ford said, it was the most powerful pickup truck they have ever made. So why would anyone want the old, inferior, polluting ICE version? And the new one was not coming out until a year later, and then it dropped about 86,000 units in 1 year, and they are not scaling up their electric versions fast enough to get back the units they have lost in ICE. Since May, when they started deliveries, Ford has sold the total of 15,617 F-150 Lightnings. So some people might talk about Tesla having trouble ramping up EVs in Berlin and Austin, but that is only compared to Tesla, China, that has set the bar very, very high. But compared to Ford, Tesla is flying. Ford is only able to make a couple of thousand a month still after more than 8 months of production, while Tesla is over 3,000 a week and started production pretty close to Ford's, actually a little bit later. This is a really good showcase of just how good Tesla is at ramping up production of EVs and how bad the old guys are. Just as we see with GM, they had more than 65,000 pre-orders of the Hummer EV, so it's not because there is no orders, but GM has only been able to produce and deliver about 854 Hummer EVs in all of 2022, and they have been in production all year. So yes, Tesla is not ramping up as fast as we might like or had hoped for in Berlin and Texas, but compared to the old guys, they are a freaking rocket ship. And as Troy Teslac showed on this chart here, based on Tesla's VIN numbers, you can see how fast Tesla's Austin is ramping up. And then we can put Ford's ramp and see that Tesla ramped up about 3 times faster than Ford is able to do. And I think we will see Tesla ramping up even faster in 2023 and Ford probably keep the same kind of linear ramp, but time will tell. But Tesla did win the US luxury crown in 2022, still still not confirmed numbers, as we don't get the US only numbers. So according to Good Car Bad Car, these numbers should be even higher, but no matter what, Tesla is way out in front, and this is the first American car maker in nearly 25 years that claims that title, beating BMW with as much as 158,612 units, or even more depending on which numbers we are using here. But with Model Y ramping up in Texas, I don't think the old guys will ever get that title back. I made a whole video about the EV adoption back in September, link down below, to try to show how the trend was pretty much impossible to slow down so much that we would only be at 50% plug-in share by 2030. And we see the trend continuing and speeding up. As Rickard wrote on Twitter only 6 years ago, 1 out of every 100 cars bought in the UK was electric. Now it's 1 out of 3. That is the power of exponential growth, and this is the chart to look at when we are talking about EV adoption, because we need to look at the ice fall as well as the rise of the EV to really get the full picture of the implications of this. And as we can see, the trend continues in the UK and even speeding up a bit. And if we take a look at the biggest car market in Europe, we can actually see it made quite the big jump last year. It is above the trend line that crosses the 50% market share in mid-2024. And as you can see, if this trend line continues, it is all over by 2027. Normally I don't count hybrids as electric cars, as they are just ICE cars with a little tiny battery. But to get the full picture of the fall of the pure ICE cars, we actually need to add them to the rise of the BEVs. I do believe this chart we see here does include all plug-ins, but I also believe it's the right way to look at it when we need to see the full picture and the collapse of the pure ICE cars. And yes, it is collapsing. It is not only the EVs that are rising exponentially. The ICE cars are also falling just as fast. And we can also see in the second biggest car market on the planet, in the US, where internal combustion engine sales were down 10% and electric vehicles were up 46%. Or let's check out the biggest car market on the planet, China, where battery electric vehicle sales increased roughly 50%, while internal combustion engine vehicles sales declined nearly 6% year over year. The trend could not be any clearer, and that some OEMs think they have to, after the decade ends, to sell a lot more ICE cars is beyond my understanding. They must be living in their own little bubble and not paying attention. As we can also look at individual automakers like Audi, that was down 4% last year, but their BEV business was up 44%. And as their EVP of sales and marketing said, the strong figures for all electric models shows us that our clear focus on e-mobility is the right way to go. Exactly, but even though they make it sound like they are making huge numbers of BEVs, they still look very small compared to Tesla, and still only about 3% of their sales in 2022 was BEVs. So they have a long way to go, but in 2023 we will see something else happen between Tesla and Audi, and that is that Tesla will become a bigger car company than Audi. Even Wall Street has Tesla at about 1.75 million units, which I think is very low, but last year Audi sold about 1.61. So even if Tesla only sells about 1.7, they will become a bigger car company than Audi. And we probably won't have to wait until the end of the year to see this play out. I will bet that Tesla will sell more cars in Q1 than Audi. Last year in Q1, Audi sold only about 385,000 units, and I believe Tesla will be somewhere around 450,000 units in deliveries, so Tesla could beat Audi already in Q1 this year. That is going to be quite the historic moment. The first time that Tesla beats Audi as a car maker. And because Tesla is also so much more than a car maker, I will bet you that we will see Tesla with a much better net income in Q1 than Audi has, as Tesla's solar and especially their storage business really starting taking off with their Lathrop factory spitting out gigawatt hours of megapacks in just Q1. But it will not just be Audi that will be left behind by Tesla in 2023. Mercedes only delivered 2.05 cars in 2022. My expectation is that Tesla will get over 2.3 or close to 2.4 million in deliveries in 2023. So they could beat both Mercedes and Audi. And BMW delivered almost 2.4 million vehicles in 2022. But if their ICE sales start dropping very fast here in 2023, well, we could have a very close race here in 2023 between Tesla and all the premium German car makers. Because when it comes to Germany and the EV sales, Tesla pulled further away in 2022. The competition didn't come and gain on Tesla. But let's see how it goes in 2023. We all know Volkswagen have been having huge problems with their software. But now Volkswagen's carrier software chief Dirk Hilgenberg promised progress one step at a time. The next key step will be launch of the new generation Porsche Macan SUV in 2024, which will have Volkswagen Group's new premium software architecture. So that will be very interesting to see what they can come up with. The automaker's ultimate goal is to unify software and electronics architecture for all Volkswagen Group's vehicle. It will rely on Qualcomm's system on a chip, semiconductors in Europe and North America, and in China they will use a superchip developed with Chinese partner Horizon Robotics, as they cannot take information out of China. And this is very much needed, as Volkswagen's old approach, as I made a couple of videos about, is very complicated and involved many different software companies and had many different software programs controlling different functions. Volkswagen's old approach used 120 small computer controlling separate functions. Of course it's difficult to make an over-the-air update then. The future was shown with a schematic of electric cars ruled by one master, system on a chip, powerful enough to run an automotive driving system, streaming video to the dashboard, and transmitting data about driving behavior, charging habits, battery life, and other functions back to Volkswagen via the cloud. So what Tesla has been doing for the last decade is what they're trying to get to, but having huge trouble doing so. This clearly shows us that when it comes to software, Tesla is clearly a decade ahead of someone like Volkswagen. Carrier does not plan to cut staff though, Hilgenberg said, but it will have a new focus on efficiency. So it will be exciting to see if Carrier's 5,000 software engineers will be able to catch up to Tesla's 150 employees in their AI software team. Because to me, it does not sound like focus on efficiency with 5,000 software engineers, but time will tell. But the old boys really need to up their games when it comes to software, just as we saw once again this week as BMW recalled over 16,000 iX, i4 and i7 electric vehicles in North America over malfunctioning high voltage battery software. The recall is related to concerns that the high voltage battery software may malfunction, resulting in a loss of power to the vehicle even while driving. But it is just software, right? So here in 2023, BMW's customers can of course expect a fix with just an over-the-air update on these premium cars, right? But no. Owners will be notified of the recall by February the 10th, 2023, where they will be advised to schedule a service appointment for the fix to be applied. That fix is a software update, but owners will not be able to download and install the update at home. Well, what a surprise. I know many people don't call Tesla a premium car, but I will not call this a premium car in 2023 that cannot do an over-the-air update. That is not a premium car in my opinion. That's just embarrassing. Yes, I hear often that the EV transition is not a disruption, it is just a shift in powertrains. But the EV disruption is more than just a shift of powertrains. And as long as BMW can fix a software issue with an over-the-air software update, I will not buy one of their cars here in 2023. That's for sure. The old boys really need to up their game. It is kind of getting embarrassing. Tesla has been able to do this for more than a decade, and they might be able to do small updates, but we are still waiting to see a big software issue being fixed by the old legacy automakers with an over-the-air update. And all of the Tesla's so-called recalls are mostly just a software update. Just such a big difference in customers' experience. And if they think they are part of the EV revolution just because they changed their powertrain, well, they are very much mistaken. Mercedes wants to start up their own charging network to rival Tesla. Mercedes plans to build a global network of 10,000 ultra-fast chargers in the last effort by traditional automakers to rival Tesla as the electric vehicle leader. Mercedes will be adding the first stations this year in North America and later expands to Europe and China. The units will have as much as 350 kilowatts of power. Tesla operates more than 40,000 superchargers already with its version 3 station that has as much as 250 kilowatts of power, but is coming with their version 4 now that can do 1,000 kilowatts of charging. So not quite the rival, but Mercedes wrote, "Our customers deserve a compelling charging experience that make electric vehicle ownership and long-distance travel effortless." So what Tesla's customers already have. And he continued, "We won't take a wait-and-see approach for this to be built." That is so funny. 11 years after Tesla started building their charging network, when nobody wanted to help out, you don't call that wait-and-see approach? I'm sorry, Mercedes. You have been waiting 11 years. And for the market share of plug-in in your own home country to get close to 40% market share before you started thinking, hey, we should build a charging network for our customers. This is a wait-and-see approach. But the more the merrier. But just a decade too late, Mercedes. Your charging network will never be able to become a rival to Tesla's charging network. Not even close, as they expect to get those 10,000 chargers up in the next 6 to 7 years. So by 2030, they will have about 10,000 chargers. Well, by the end of this year, Tesla will have added at least another 10,000 superchargers to their already over 40,000 chargers. So don't be fooled, this will never become a rival to Tesla's network. But nice, they finally, after 11 years, will start helping building out the much needed worldwide charging network. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. We finally have the BEV sales numbers from Volkswagen, and they sold 572,100 units. So I had to update my little chart here a bit, as Volkswagen sold a bit more than I guessed here in my last video, but it does not change much, still far from their target of 750,000 BEVs in 2022, and Tesla pulled even further away in 22, just as they did in 21. And the Volkswagen Group as a whole dropped about 619,000 units in sales in 2022 compared to 21. Only 8.262 million units sold in 2022. Volkswagen is now down 2.7 million since 2019. But according to Volkswagen, this has nothing to do with the ice falling off a cliff. This is only because of supply constraint and temporary production stop. Sure, if you say so. And Tesla is preparing to build a nearly 45,000 square feet collision center in Reno, Nevada. This won't be your ordinary collision center, however, as it is the first known location with dedicated areas to repair a Tesla semi-truck. Nice. And Tesla is close to a preliminary deal to set up a factory in Indonesia, according to people familiar with the matter, as always, Tesla looks to capitalize on Southeast Asia's nation's reserve of key battery material. The plan would produce as many as 1 million cars a year, the people said, in line with Tesla's ambitions for all their factory global to eventually reach that capacity. But still nothing signed, and everything could change. It is still just rumors. And apparently Tesla has made several Model Y standard range with the 296 miles all-wheel drive units equipped with the 4680 battery cell to its online inventory. So that is nice to see some of these showing up again. And it's time for some speculation, because ITRA shared on their LinkedIn page that they were shipping a 9,000-ton gigapress, but not to the US, as they wrote, ready for shipping on its way to Asia. I still think it is only Tesla that are using these huge gigacastings. So that of course begs the question, what is this for in Shanghai? In Austin they are for the Cybertruck, these huge 9,000-ton gigapresses. So are they planning to make a Cybertruck in China? Or are we looking at the Model 2 that is coming being gigacast in one piece? Or do you have other great speculation we can go with? Let me know in the comments below. And if you are still in doubt, is Tesla still an exponential growth because of all the talks about demand problems and slowing sales? Well, I will just show you this chart from James that showed Tesla's growth through the years, and let you decide if you think this is exponential growth, but a very steep chart we got here no matter what. And the Tesla Model S that won the car of the year for the last 70 years by Motor Trend in 2019. But the Plaid version is also the quickest car they have ever tested from 0 to 60, and at the same time it is an amazing, spacious family sedan. What a car. And what about it tweeted about the Starship might fly in January, but Elon tuned in and said that they had a shot at late February, or that March launch attempt appears highly likely. Can't wait to see this one. Just look at this speed up video of the Starship being lifted onto the heavy booster. It just looked completely sci-fi. And check out this picture shared by Eric X as he wrote, "Not a render." Just look at this. Boy, Elon Musk and SpaceX are truly making the future exciting. And Elon tweeted about Twitter. Easy swipe right or left to move between recommended versus follower tweet rules out later this week. First part of a much larger user face overhaul. Ooh, very interesting. And the bookmark buttons on Twitter details roll out later this week. Long form tweets earlier in February, looking very much forward to that. But how can Twitter make so many new changes and a new large user interface overhaul with half the staff and a CEO that apparently don't know what he's doing? Well, I think Elon is going to prove the doubters wrong once again, as they are making the all-in-one app and show the whole tech industry just how bloated the tech companies have become. And it seems like it has become a weekly thing that we hear about Electrify America and Tesla's charging network. And this week, Homar's catalog shared Tesla's new 80 units version 3 supercharging station here. Now that is a charging station, not like Electrify America chargers here with 6 stalls. That might or might not work. And Hyundai has shown off new crab walk features on their company's Ioniq 5 test vehicle that can also do a tank turn and go sideways, making parallel parking a breeze. Very nice. While it remains unclear if Hyundai's new zero-turn technology will be coming to production model anytime soon, it is nice to see these new technologies, as both GM and Tesla are coming with crab walk features. Hyundai might want to get this one into production as well. And Air Baltic announced that it will equip its entire Airbus fleet with SpaceX Starlink's internet connectivity system. Every passenger will benefit from complimentary in-flight high-speed internet access during Air Baltic flights without hassle or login page. From the moment the passenger walk onto the plane, they will have access to the internet. Oh yes, that is how internet on airplanes should work, and now everyone else will follow, as they do not want to be outperformed by Air Baltic. And Europe NCAP announced the best-in-class result for 2022, and the Tesla Model S won in the executive car category and the Tesla Model Y in the small off-roader category. And the Model S and X also received the highest overall safety score among every vehicle tested by Europe NCAP in 2022. And the race is not even close. Tesla is up and beyond anyone else out there when it comes to safety. And apparently the Berlin factory now has 8,500 employees out of 12,000 they want to get to. So Tesla has about 70% of the workforce in place in Berlin. So we should start to see some more ramp coming soon out of that factory. And we got some stats from the Boring Company this week as CES was running. Average ride time less than 2 minutes, average wait time less than 10 seconds, and more than 94,000 total passengers, more than 10,000 passengers to and from Resort World, and an average customer experience score more than 4.9 out of 5. This system seems to be working just fine. And Neuralink is taking patience. Now that is big news. As they write, if you are interested in learning whether you may qualify for a future Neuralink clinical trial, consider joining our patient registry. Now this is quickly becoming real. And Goodyear's new tire is made from soybean oil, rice husk and pine raisins. 90% of the tire's ingredients are sustainable, and it has already passed regulatory testing for road use. So that is very cool, and they are working on getting a 100% sustainable tire by the end of this decade. It will still be a bit before we can see this on the road, as Goodyear still needs to work with the suppliers to figure out a way to scale up to mass production, but the new tires are also offering a lower rolling resistance, which translates into longer EV range as well. And Tesla's Gigafactory Texas facility is set to expand by 1.4 million square feet as the automaker filed over $716 million in new project at the site, including a cathode plant, and construction could start as soon as the end of this month. So more good stuff to look forward to from Tesla in 2023. And before we end up with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my new patrons and members of this YouTube channel. My new Patreon producers, Eugen Stiergu, Philip Martin, Valley Kuntz, and Mark Evers. And my new thank you for watching member, Scott Hawkins. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Gatherios Mariosho. I got no idea how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for all your support. He has been a thank you for watching member for 28 months. Thank you so much for all your support through all the years. Much, much appreciated. Please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address so I can send you your free t-shirt or mug of your choice. And let's end off with a bit of fun. We have some footage of people's reaction after Tesla's price cut.
Go, 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 go! Oh, score! Yes!
It's beautiful! Perfect! Wow!
Here we go!
Yes!
No way!
That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.